it just didn't last very long or go very high. And then we kind of sold off into slightly into the just slightly off the highs into the close today at 4 o'clock. So anyway, there it is on the daily chart. Let's flip over to the 2,000 tick chart, see what the day looks like, and kind of go through the trades and wrap this day up. And here it is. There were no news events today. You can see that early on it looked like we were in a range here. I originally had the range higher and just put a support down here, but I think the range was more like this. And then we broke out and failed, got back inside, traded right around the range highs for a little bit before prices finally took off and trended for 2 legs up. And you can see we overshot that and went a little high before we reversed and traded down slightly into the close. So that's how I saw it. You can see that we did have this 2-tiered channel here. But let's zoom in here and take a look at the trades and wrap this day up here. You had to be a little patient this morning. 7 o'clock came as we kind of topped out here, and this was a little just a little too congested. You had a decent signal bar here, but it's just a first entry and it looks really congested. And then you got a second entry here, but the signal bar doesn't really qualify. First entry, no signal bar. First entry, just kind of what we got all the way down. There actually was a second entry here, but you can't go short right into those lows. And that's really right where we're getting into where the overnight lows were. So I think you just had to sit tight there. So just nothing to trade really on that trend down. And we did get a break and a new low here, and then we made a higher low on a triple test. I like that one. You're better to wait on a higher low. I mean, you could consider this a higher low. It is a triple test. I think you were okay to go short. I went back and forth about whether I should take this trade, whether it might be green or blue. It's right there on the line. But, you know, we do have the break and new low. But generally, you'll make another leg down. It looked like we were going to maybe even make another trend down. So I decided maybe you're better off to wait for a higher low. And you got one here, but the signal bar is no good. But then you made a higher low here off of this double bottom and had a decent signal bar. So I liked going long there on the reversal. You could have gone long here, and if you did, I wouldn't fault you. I wanted to take it too. But I think you're better off to wait. And even here, it took a few minutes to take off. So you just weren't really getting rejection here when you saw this. It's congested. It's not a very good signal bar. I mean, it's low risk because it's 6 ticks, but you'd been better off to enter here on the 5-tick one with the triple test. So if I was going to enter, I'm going to enter here first and then not again till here. And if you didn't enter there, you got to skip that trade. And we run up here, we test the high, and technically to me, this is all just congestion. So to me, this is a second entry here. I didn't mark it, but you possibly could have gone. It's just so far since early 5 or 6 o'clock this morning to 9. It does kind of confirm the high of the range. So maybe you take that trade. I think you're better off to wait. You do get a lower high here, but you get the 2-bar matching lows. It looks a little congested, and then the next one doesn't go anywhere. And then next thing you know, you got a second entry long, and you got a break of this and a new low. So right off the key entry point, there's room to get out. So I like just trying to get a scalp out of that. And turns out it goes much higher. Now, I wouldn't go long here because you don't have any room, and it could turn back down. But at this point, you just confirm your trend line right here on the second entry. It is a little sideways, but it's clearly a trend down, a break, and a move to a new low and a second entry long. So I like going long there. I switched gears back to long and didn't look like we were going to get much out of it but a scalp. And then next thing you know, it burst out the top and makes just rocket straight up there. So it turned out to be a good choice. And you get a first entry. There's a second entry here, but it never triggers, and it doesn't trigger till here, and then it's too congested. But you do get a 2-bar match in here and another negative bar, and so you can call it a triple test. So I like going short there on a triple test, and that's the trade of the day. Boom, the bottom falls out of it. You probably get an easy runner on it, and turns out to be a nice trade. And again, you got this is basically a new high, and then you get a first entry and then a second entry with a nice reversal bar here. You got to wait for this to close. You can't trade this on the engulfing portion. So just sit tight, wait for it to close, and you're probably going to at least go back to the EMA, even if you're going to go lower, because we do. This is kind of odd here because you got a channel here and you get a break and move down, but you get no break and you lower this one and you never do. So evidently this is just an overdone retest on this. Really, I think we were still pretty much trading range rules here, and the midline just tended to hold on this one because eventually we were going higher. But this runs up, close outside, new high, and a second entry short right here. This is basically a new low. So first entry, second entry. I like going short on that one. And you get a break, move to a new low, and it bounces again, and you get another second entry. The second entry technically triggered on the break above this, but since they're matching lows, you can go long. This bar is a little big, but it's a second entry, and you know, you got plenty of room to get out, so if you want to take it, take it. If you skipped it because it seems it's a little big, then I wouldn't blame you. We break out again. Notice we make a new low right there, and then you get a first entry, second, you get two. So you get two legs to a new high, and each one has two moves in it. So I like going short right there. That bar is 4 ticks, very low risk, way away from the EMA, bouncing off what looked like might be the high of the range at that point. And so I like going short right there. Plus, it's a breakout again. We've already broke out once, so the next one could go on. But a lot of times you'll try to break out multiple times, and boom, that was a quick, easy move, but you didn't get much more than that. And then this, you really confirm this trend line here, but to know for sure if you're going to go higher in it, you need another confirmation here, and then this thing just takes off. And again, these are all first entries. I don't see anything in there I like. And you get a close outside a new high here, and then you got a trend down, close outside new low. And this is a double top, so this is first entry, second entry. I like going long there. It's kind of no man's land. So we're not back to the trend line. We are under the EMA, so there's some question marks about it, but it's a second entry. The downtrend, micro trend channel is played out. Maybe you take it, maybe you wait on the higher low. You get a higher low here, doesn't really play out, but then when you get the triple test and the big bullish bar, I like going long there. I don't know if you get in, you might have to let it come back. Do you really want to wait on it to come back? That's another question, but if you can get in it, you want to take that trade. And by this time, it's pretty obvious this is a rather strong trend because we can't even get back to the main trend line. So you might trade any signal bar that comes back at that point, like we talk about. There's one, maybe even that one. And then there's not any more before we go into 230. And of course, you get this overshoot up here. And of course, you get your first leg up, and then your measured leg, you can see it's almost a perfect measured leg, but you get a little overdone up here. So that might lead you to take a short on either one of these, and either one of them would have worked. So there's two more possibilities, but it's, you know, anytime you're trying to sell a strong move, you're being aggressive, and you know, I really teach people not to try to pick tops and bottoms. So this is going to be more advanced, but there's some reasons to consider selling up here. And there it is. It was pretty obvious this was the channel. You can see it playing the midline. and you can see it pretty much played the measured move except for that slight overshoot there, and it overshoot this green channel too, because if you draw this green channel up there to where it's at, these are not touching in here, and so it doesn't really fit real well. So that leads me to believe that it looks more like this, and this is a two-tiered channel with a overshoot up here, and really an overshoot maybe even of the larger channel, because if you move it up, these don't fit down here very well either. So anyway, that does lead to a reversal that trades down all the way to the low of that move and to the close. So there it is. That's how I saw it. Again, not a lot of trades, but there's trades there. A couple of decent ones, easy to spot ones, but you had to be patient. And I always tell people that's really the difference between an average trader and a profitable trade. You know, I wouldn't even say average. I'd say a trader that's right at the fringe of winning and an actual profitable one. The difference is usually discipline and the ability to be able to sit there and do nothing when there's nothing happening, and then to be able to jump on the trade and take it without question when it does appear. And so that's important that you can do that. And, you know, you get people that have both problems. You get some people that just overtrade and take everything they see and they can't help themselves. And then you get the other person, they can't pull the trigger. They'll watch a perfectly good setup go by them 4 or 5 times and watch it work. And then they'll say, well, the next one I'm taking, and the next one's the one that fails. And I see that happen with people over and over. And mostly what that is a lack of experience. They somewhat understand the strategy. They've pretty much got that down, but they don't have the trading experience. They haven't traded simulate. They haven't been on the simulator and traded it enough to gain the confidence and to trust the setups and to trust their own reads. And that's how you do that, by sim trading. You don't do it trading live. And, you know, anytime I suggest going back to simulator, people take it as an insult that, you know, that's only for beginners. Look, you should be sim trading, even once you get profitable, you should be sim trading as much as you can, or studying charts or something. I mean, that's really why I still do this chart lesson after all these years, because it forces me at the end of the day to go back and look at my chart, study everything I did, and see what I missed, and see what the chart provided. And so I do a chart study every single day and have for 20-something years. And that's the difference between an average trader and a really good trader, because they study. They don't take it as an insult when somebody tells them to sim trade, because that's the only way you're going to get enough experience. You cannot, look, because we're retail traders, our trading, we have a very thin margin of being right or wrong. We can't afford to be wrong much. We don't have those deep enough pockets. I mean, even if you got $1 million in your trading account, it's not enough for a retail trader to learn trading live. So you got to understand that. It's the reason we do it is because you have to trade a lot every day. If you can get 6 to 8 hours of sim trading every day and studying those trades, that's what you really need. That's what makes you better. How many letters, emails have I read you that have been written to me? How many have I posted in the forum that you can go read and see, where they tell you they didn't listen to me in the beginning, but when they finally broke down and started doing what I said and sim trading and studying, suddenly their trading took off. Because that's the difference between average traders and good traders, is the average traders understand the strategy, but they don't have any experience. It's like being a pilot. You know all the theory, you know how to fly the plane and theoretically, but you don't have any true experience doing it. You got to go get the experience. It's like playing the piano. You've taught yourself to play the piano. You can peck on the keys and follow the notes and, play. But could you play professionally? No, because you don't have the experience and the skill set. You haven't been doing it long enough. And trading is no different than any other skill. It's a skill. Reading this chart and understanding what's going to happen and where prices are going and where and how they fail and how they react. It's all a skill, and the only way to get better at that skill is to do this every day, and you can't afford to do it live. Just trading and closing up at the end of the day, taking 2 or 3 trades, and yeah, I won two and lost one, or I won one and lost two, or I had two losers, so I quit. If just doing that every day, you're never going to get there. You're not getting enough experience and screen time. So even if you think you're ready, which you're probably not, ready to trade live, start off simulate on the simulator every morning. When you see the trade you really like, the sure thing, then flip over to live, take the trade, and then when it's over, flip back to sim and keep trading. Trade as much as you can. Take every trade you see. If you're not willing to take it live, flip over to the simulator and take it. And then study that trade at the end of the day. That's how you learn your tendencies. That's how you correct your problems and your bad tendencies. That's how you reinforce what works. I mean, it just irks me when somebody will say, I can't trade this range. I didn't have the confidence to go short there. Well, that's because you haven't traded it. You don't have any trading experience. You haven't proven to yourself it works on the simulator. That's all that is. It's just a difference between experience and no experience. Of course you don't trust it. You don't have any reason to. You haven't learned it yet. I mean, you understand the theory, but you don't have any real life experience doing it. So of course you don't trust yourself, especially live. So you do it on the simulator till you start to understand that, improve yourself. You can do it, and you start, and then it's not as hard to do it when it's live. So trust me. If you're listening to this video and watching it, I guarantee you need to be on the simulator. And that's not an insult. That's not a cut to anybody. Just get on it's just common sense. But why people think that it's only for beginners, I just can't, I don't know. And that's why they're not successful though. We've proven what works. Like I said, I've read you the emails. I've posted the emails in the forum. You can go read them for yourself. People tell you that I was right. They didn't believe it either, but they did it and it worked for them. So trust me when I tell you this. All I want to do is help people to get better at this. I wouldn't tell you to get on the simulator for the heck of it. If I thought it was a waste of time and it was beyond, but you know, for people to think it's beyond them, that's just, those are the people that are never going to make it. If you think simulated trading is above you, then I can guarantee you, if you're not profitable, you're never going to be profitable. You're not destined to be a trader. And I know somebody that is real close to me that has that attitude. When I suggested get on the simulator, he threw it was like I sliced his throat. And so I don't say anything. But he's still not a profitable trader yet. And he's probably never going to be a profitable trader because he won't get on the simulator and learn it and get the experience. And so if you want to be like that, don't listen to me. But I'm telling you what it takes to do this and what helps. And that's to get the real-time experience. Now, I'm not talking about get on the simulator and trade the replay. I'm talking about trading real live data as it prints to the chart, just like it would if you were trading live. Because if you can trade live data printing to the chart on the simulator, then you can do it in real time as well. And just because you can do it pretty good on the simulator doesn't mean you're ready to go live yet. It means because you still need more time and more experience, and you need more reinforcement, more learning opportunities, because you will see something different. What'll happen is you'll see for two or 3 days to a week or two, you'll see the same thing and you'll get locked into that. And then all of a sudden the market will change, and what you every time prices would bounce at the low, we're kind of ranging, and then all of a sudden you think it's going to bounce and it keeps trending, and you keep looking for a bottom because you're used to trading a range, but now it's trending and you can't flip gears because you're so honed in on the fact that it was bouncing at the lows or turning down at the highs. And so the only way to combat that is to get experience, lots of it, seeing everything the market can throw at you and learning how to switch gears 1 week to the next or 1 day to the next. So anyway, I didn't mean to get off on this tangent, but you know, I just hate to see people struggle, and I hate to offer the right advice and people, you know, shoot it down and act like I'm insulting them or something. You know, it's ridiculous. You need to be on the simulator. If you're not profitable, you need to be on the simulator. I don't care if you've been doing this 25 years. If you're not profitable, you need to be on the simulator. That's plain as the nose on your face. But if you're too prideful and pride is more important than success, then more power to you. That goes to all of you. Anyway, hope you had a good trading day. I'm going to wrap this one up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.